consider child's age at the time of commission of the alleged crime. Now, reparation programs should consider a balance of what to offer them as benefits as ex-combatants and reparations as victims. One of the challenges I had when I was in Sierra Leone is that you may see somebody by all standards, this person is a child, but the person will tell you that he's 21. By all standards, this person says he's 21 because he wants to get the what we're giving the adult. Now, the relationship between the DDR and the transitional justice. Transitional justice measures are increasingly part of the political package that is agreed to by the parties to the conflict in the ceasefire or peace agreement. That's where there is any. Right now in the Northeast, where we have locally adopted DDR, there's nothing like ceasefire. And that's what I told you earlier, that is a form of third generation DDR, where the conflict is still ongoing. Now, subsequently, it is not uncommon for disarmament, demobilization, and integration programs and transitional justice measures to coexist in a post-conflict situation. The overlap of transitional justice measures with disarmament, demobilization, and integration programs can create tension. Yet the coexistence of these two types of initiatives in the immediate aftermath of conflict, one focused on accountability, truth, and redress, and the other on security, may also and security. Those ones you have disarmed and demobilized and you are taking them back to the society will be accepted. And then so they can complement each other. DDR may contribute to the stability necessary to implement transitional justice initiatives. And implementation of transitional justice measures for accountability, truth, and redress and institutional reform can increase the likelihood of DDR programs will achieve their aims by strengthening the legitimacy of the program from the perspective of the victims of violence and their communities, and contributing in this way to their willingness to accept returning ex-combatants. Before now, I saw a literature, I saw a document, you can Google it, they carried some ex-combatants to a place. The community responded they should carry it to Aso Rock. They carried it to Aso Rock, not to their community. Why? Because they felt that things, it shouldn't be so. But after some time, from my own investigation in Borno State, they accepted now. I didn't investigate other states. The relationship between disarmament, demobilization, and integration programs and transitional justice measures can vary widely depending on the country context, the manner in which the conflict was fought, and how it ended, and the level of involvement of the international community, among many other factors. In situations where disarmament, demobilization, and integration programs and transitional justice measures coexist in the field, both stand to benefit from a better understanding of their respective mandates. What's the mandate of disarmament? Stability, removing arms, discharging them from their structures, and also bringing them back into society to acquire civilian with sustainable means of livelihood. In all DDR processes, there is need to understand how disarmament, demobilization, and integration programs link in with other aspects of a peace consolidation process, be they political, humanitarian, security, or justice related, so as to avoid one process impacting negatively on the other. So in other words, if you are carrying out disarmament, demobilization, and integration, you must make sure this thing is linked to the political consideration, humanitarian consideration, and the security consideration. Now, UN-supported disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration aims to be people-centered. These are the 5 characteristics of UN-supported disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. They should be people-centered, and they shall be flexible, accountable, and transparent. When it says it should be flexible, it means it should be context-driven, context-specific. Okay? They should be transparent. People should know what is, everybody should carry that along. Nationally owned, integrated, and well planned. These are the 5 or 7 characteristics of UN-supported DDR. An accountable DDR can be achieved based on more systematic and improved coordination between disarmament, demobilization, reintegration, and transitional justice processes, so as to best facilitate successful transition from conflict to peace. Lack of coordination between transitional justice and DDR may lead to unbalanced outcome. So you must link disarmament, demobilization, and integration to what? Transitional justice, so that they will be accepted. One outcome, for example, is that victims receive markedly less attention and resources than ex-combatants in terms of benefits. The imbalance between the benefits provided to ex-combatants and the lack of benefits provided to victims has led to criticism by some that DDR rewards violent behavior. We thank God today we have Terrorism Prohibition and the Prevention Act 2022. And one of the special clauses in that act is that there is the victim assistance fund, trust fund, victim trust fund. That's a provision. And I'm aware there are some communities that have gotten this victim trust fund. Enhanced coordination between disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, and transitional justice measures may create opportunities to mitigate this imbalance and increase the legitimacy of the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration program from the perspective of the communities which need to accept returning ex-combatants. Now, the next one is coordinated transitional justice measures. You need to coordinate it. How do you coordinate it? Through public information. People need to be carried along on what is going on. If not, initially they were not doing Operation Safe Corridor, but from my own research, they have started doing it. They are carrying the communities along. They even have something they call family visit, where they visit them. And then involve and prepare recipient communities. You need to prepare them ahead of time. If not, they may go back to sender. Then consider screening of human rights records of ex-combatants. That's another one. Then develop strategies to target spoilers. There are some people when things are working well, they are not happy. They are happier when things are not working well. So you must find a way to target them. Then encourage ex-combatants to participate in transitional justice measures. Because when they participate in transitional justice measures, they are, especially the local ones, they are showing they want to be part and parcel of that community. Then support legitimate, locally based transitional justice processes. Then finally, examples of local adaptation of the DDR program. We have Operation Safe Corridor. You have Triple R, organization as the role model of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, and reintegration, rehabilitation, and reconciliation. Then we have the Niger Delta Amnesty Program. So in conclusion, we said transitional justice refers to measures used by society to combat the legacy of large-scale past human rights abuses in order to facilitate accountability, serve justice, and achieve reconciliation. And then we also said that it may include judicial and non-judicial responses such as prosecutions, state commissions, reparation programs for victims, and tools for institutional reform. And then we said that disarmament, demobilization, retribution, and transitional justice processes stand to benefit from a better understanding of their respective mandates, as well as more systematic and improved coordination, so as to best facilitate the successful transition from conflict to sustainable peace. And then we also mentioned that interests of women associated with armed forces and groups and children associated with armed forces and groups should be taken care of under the disarmament, demobilization, and integration and transitional justice and the DDR. So recommendation is the federal government should establish transitional justice structure process after comprehensive perception survey of both victims and the perpetrators, and then enhance coordination between locally adopted DDR programs and locally based processes of justice. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, for that very detailed presentation. You took us through the concepts, both transitional justice and bringing to bear in the discussion your experiences in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and the work, the research work that you have conducted in the Northeast. I want to thank you so much for the detailed presentation. As usual, we move on to discussion. If you have questions, if you have contribution, it's time for us to explore the moment and discuss. Thank you so much. Question? Yeah. Madam, we are closer.
Yes. Thank you very much for the detailed, well-prepared lecture. My question is, apart from Operation Safe Corridor in Gombe, meant for DDR, is there any other place for it? Because I have been there and I noticed that the capacity of that place is too small compared with repentant Boko Haram waiting for the DDR. Is there any other place for it as of now?
Yes, we have the Borno model. Borno model is they are doing something, and they are receiving some works in progress to see how they can harmonize a lot of other processes. The Borno model is doing similar thing, and part of my suggestion should be that government should find a way to harmonize the two, because they are working for the same purpose. They are.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to thank Mr. Chairman to say thank you for the detailed presentation. Personally, I really enjoyed it, because you cover a lot of issues talking about transitional justice, DDR, nexus between those of them. But maybe I should pick it up from your last comment in terms of the Operation Safe Corridor. Of course, I know before it used to be 5 times of people that come into the camp for go through the program. And I think that facility is expanded.
That will expand it.
I think 1,000.
Yes.
Which tied to the issue of awaiting trial. So that being one of the issues that is I think the number of people that have passed through that program is about 3,000. But again, I also feel that even people now meet both of now people see people are from the Borno model. The Operation Safe Corridor is federal government, while Borno model is state led initiative. So there are two different things. Well, there are a couple of maybe I just say observations. Talking about the principle of 1 and 2, and of course say that to start with, the IOF, they are here to help us, and it's tied to this same development about the issue of the same, that the partners' interference in some of our peace building initiatives is a bit too much. So, and I know that IOM has done a lot for Money Model, done a lot for Operation Safe Corridor in terms of helping them to set up action plans. But the intervention, the IOM interference rather, in that program, some people will argue that they are, it's getting too much. There are certain things as a country that we can actually do on our own. Even we need their support, their partnership. But there are certain things that Nigeria, that if we manage our resources together, that we can actually achieve. And even the issue of the critical of 1 and 2, a lot of people, and even because of the dissertation side, it came out very clear that these people, it is people-centric and community-driven. Okay, so saying that you integrate one person, and now one person, and you are also empowering two. Some people are of the opinion that it's too small, but even though it's a starting point, but it should have been community-driven, build infrastructure, empower the community rather than individuals. And I think it's actually Borno State, whether they are doing in collaboration with IOM, but I don't think it is IOM that is doing that, because listening to the Commissioner of Women Affairs saying that it's their initiative trying to do that. Again, of course, in terms of the issue of the women, to say no provision for women in the Operation Safe Corridor, I think what actually happened is still part of, and again, in terms of public information, which is clearly in your presentation too, that aspect has not really taken care of well in terms of leveraging strategic communications, which are also called public information or information to actually educate people on the processes. And I think in the past 2 days we've been discussing that here, on the processes and what the operation is meant to achieve. And in terms of starting from the profiling, and I think Operation Safe Corridor, what Operation Safe Corridor does is that the children, the juvenile, and the women, they categorize them as low risk. And of course they said the ex-combatant because of the crime and associate. So I think those ones fall within the associate who are taken to so they don't come to Operation Safe Corridor. It's the active combatants who are adults, male adults, that actually come to Operation Safe Corridor to go through the radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. So I just said, let me make that observation. Sir, in terms of your, because of the presentation, one thing I also so much appreciate about the presentation is that it talks about different places and global perspectives. It talks about what's going on in Colombia and some in Kenya and some other countries. So, and I also know that even in Saudi Arabia, they have their own program. So, but in those countries, sir, we have demobilization, semi-med demobilization, and reintegration. So some of these countries like DDR. So, but now in Operation Safe Corridor, we have DRR, de-radicalization, de-radicalization, 3D, then de-radicalization,
rehabilitation and reintegration.
De-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. So the question now is the form of question, sir, that is it because of the nature of that operation or the nature of the actors that are involved in that is because of the ideological drift that is making that one to be the radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration? meanwhile, in Niger Delta, we have the DR in Niger Delta. Even the Borno State has gone further to do triple R.
Yes.
So the definition of concept, is it not a problem for us as a nation? Should we be talking about, because of course we propose the harmonization of different DR programs that we have in the country. And lastly, of course, I have my personal opinion on the issue of counter-narrative. Yes, it's essential because it's academically, but there is a sort of like paradigm shift from counter-narrative to alternative narrative now. So, because you say, oh, you don't just want to counter what those guys are saying, but alternative.
Okay.
Yes, and that is why the issue of the Islamic scholars. So I think rather as a country, if we are talking in that space, we will be promoting alternative narrative rather than saying, oh, what you are saying is wrong. It's wrong as if you are having answering what they say. And finally, sir, the issue of transitional justice and restorative justice. I don't know. Finally.
You are integrated.
Yes, sir. I don't know, sir. If there can be a bit of clarification on the transitional justice and restorative justice, whether restorative justice is subset.
Okay, I don't really see them as the same. Because when you are talking about restorative justice, you are talking about the justice where you do something for the victim. It's mainly to do something instead of the normal process where you just punish the perpetrator, but do something, the victim is carried along in whatever you are doing. But when you are talking about transitional justice, to me, it's a little bit different because you are looking for how you can achieve accountability and how you can facilitate justice and also get reconciliation. So in the process, you can also carry the victim along, but it's not purely that kind of victim center like restorative justice. That's my own understanding.
So transitional justice is wider.
It's wider. Then you talked about also why the context is the radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. In Operation Safe Corridor, their major aim is to de-radicalize, to rehabilitate, and prepare clients for reintegration. You only prepare them for reintegration. They don't really reintegrate. In this IOM they are talking about, just for the reintegration, they left it for the states to carry out. And one of the UN has characteristics they want disarmament, demolition, and reintegration to have. One of them, it should be people-centered. Another one, it should be flexible. And flexibility means it should be context-driven. Because no two contexts are the same. So some of these things is because of the nature. Like when I was in Liberia and Sierra Leone, we didn't talk about the radicalization because there was no issue of ideology involved. We only talk about demobilization, disarmament, demobilization. Liberia had disarmament, demobilization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. Sierra Leone had disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. So it's context-driven, and one of the characteristics, it should be flexible. So depending on the context, and it must be nationally owned. The nation has the right to determine how their own should function. So apart from that, thank you for your good contributions.
Yes. Major, thank you so much for that detailed and eloquent presentation. A few weeks ago, Nigeria was agitated by claims elsewhere that some foreign governments were directly or indirectly, by way of using front agencies, like the IOM, like you said, and other NGOs to, in the guise of supporting to stabilize the system, rather funding the crisis. So you've been in the field, sir. you said you just sit up from there. What insights can you give us in that regards? Then further to that, I'm aware that states like Benue, Anambra are also looking forward to some kind of amnesty or DDR
Yes.
stuff, or
Yes.
maybe DDR related tools. I begin to wonder if these models could also be applied maybe elsewhere, like the southeast or somewhere in the southwest, to bring about a national orientation or national benefit in that regard.
Yes, it can. It can. And I think I heard the governor of Anambra State announce that people should bring their arms. The announcement that they should bring their arms, and if they don't have anything doing, that the government can help them. But it's not that I'm not aware of whether the policy has been, but the announcement was made. Just like after the Civil War, there was an announcement. There was an announcement, everybody should come and submit his weapon, but there was no incentive, nothing. So many people didn't. Many people didn't. But government of Anambra State have announced that any people, I hear the announcement myself, that people should come and submit their this. They are doing good job, but whether they are submitting, I don't really know. But what I will do, I will try and get in contact with the security advisor. I was in the Southeast Security Stakeholders meeting held on 21st November in Enugu. I happened to be in Enugu then. When the GOC got to know that I was around, invited me to the meeting. So I was there with the Minister